Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Hello and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host Stephen White. With me, as always, is my co-host Lacey Finley.
Oh, happy Monday! How are you?
I'm okay. We're in the April zone now. We're 4 months in.
Thank God we're past April 1st. I hate that day. I hate
Yeah.
that day so much.
I had to be very weary about things that showed up across my headlines or news stories, and I was very pessimistic about everything that I read because I was
if it says April 1st, I just discount it immediately, especially if I'm enjoying it, where I'm like, nope, it's just got to be a joke. You'll tell me later if it's real.
Sure, yeah. Like I know I read something at one point, and I just kind of side-eyed it going, is this real? I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
And I just kind of walked away. Rhett and Link got me, the sons of bitches.
Oh, did they now?
Yes,
Okay.
because they do it every year. I forget. They do these April Fool's pranks. And they're sitting, and they were doing like their spring break videos, so it's like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is all they're posting. And then I sit down to watch them, and they said they were doing some dollar store price game or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they got into explaining their rules. And as they're sitting there explaining the rules, I was like, well, I'll figure it out as they go along. And I was looking at something on my phone. I was talking to Katrina. And then I came back, and they're still talking about the rules. And I was like, okay. And then I was still waiting. And then the longer this went on, I was like, what is going on? Why are they not getting to the game? And then I thought about it for a second, grabbed my remote, pressed it to see how much longer the video had. 5 minutes, and I was like, son of a bitch, they got me. I'm sitting here wondering, why are we taking so long explaining these rules to this freaking game? Uh-huh. And it's because you're doing this on purpose. You're not going to play a game. You're just going to sit here and explain these stupid rules that mean nothing, absolutely nothing. You're just wasting my time.
Yep.
Like you've done.
I feel like April 1st is just a giant waste of my time, so I just stay in my own little circle and then don't venture out. Like, screw y'all. I don't need it in my life.
You know what
the stress.
You know what would have been the greatest April Fool's prank this year is if all the movie reviews for Morbius were all fake and it was actually a really good movie. So people could actually go and see this movie and be like, oh my God, it's actually amazing.
I guess I need to go see it. I have been seeing more people chat about it now.
No. I haven't seen it, but I'm just.
Well, then how do you know?
Because Sony does not understand movies. They can understand games for some reason, but their movie division does not understand things. They spoiled, keep this in mind, they spoiled the mid-credits and end-credit scenes for this movie just because that shows how little faith they had. They're just like, here, just
So
just
they
take
showed secret scenes in the trailer?
Well, not in the trailer. They spoiled it a week before the movie even hit. Like, the director himself said, yeah, let me explain that to you. It's like, what are you doing?
When did it come out?
It came out Friday. And they were talking about that.
I totally thought it came out last weekend.
No.
Or the weekend before last, I guess, since last weekend. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, you're right. They have been chatting about it a little too long.
Yeah. So, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. Like, Sony wants to build this Spider-Man adjacent world, and yet they can't seem to not spoil things. You know?
So, I guess that graffiti thing I was seeing would have been a spoiler?
No, that wasn't even in the movie. So why even do that?
then I don't know what's happening. And see, I've had no interest to really dig, so the little bits and pieces that I am getting is making even less sense now that I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I kept flipping when I'd see an article or whatever. Okay, this is what we're chatting about for it now. And just keep going because I hadn't seen it. And
My expectations were very low, about like they were for Venom. Now, I will admit I did have fun with Venom. I don't like it as a movie as a whole, but I guess there were some moments in there. I watched Venom 2. It was like, yeah,
for
I
one
guess
time
it's
through, it was fine.
I guess it's fine. I'm just shrugging. And then they'll be like, he's going to be in Spider-Man. He's going to be in Spider-Man. It's like, no, he's not. You lie. Don't even waste our time. And why did they do that? I don't know. You set this thing up that paid off in no way whatsoever just because we're like, look
Look what we can do.
It's like, but you did nothing. You did absolutely nothing. This was pointless. This whole exercise was pointless.
That's kind of how I feel like the last season of Dexter.
Ooh, that was a burn. I thought it was fun.
Sorry, I feel like that was a huge waste of my time. I don't know what we were doing here. You should have left it alone. How could you disappoint me more? And we figured it out. Hey,
Hey, they were
I
just
could
trying.
rant about that. I was very pissed about that whole thing.
But they had
Sorry.
to tie up loose ends.
No, they didn't. You made it worse. I feel like this whole thing was a huge waste. You made him dumb. You made him stupid. You made him sloppy. And then, sorry, I guess, spoiler.
It's been a while. It's been long
3.
enough.
Yeah. And then we're just done. You just off him. It's fine. The whole thing was dumb. Sorry.
Okay.
Dumb.
Okay.
You wasted half of the season being stupid, slow, and doing nothing with it, where I just like have a conversation, just do something, just something happen, anything happen, just anything happen. And then stuff happens and you make them dumb. And it was all dumb. It was a huge waste of my time and I'm very upset. And if I had no idea I'd be more pissed at this season ending than the last one 10 years ago. But here we are. Still, season 4 is the last one for me in my brain. I'm just going to keep it right there. Screw you people.
Well, in a different, similar note, but something different. Have you seen or did you watch Moon Knight?
No.
On Disney Plus. It's got Oscar Isaac playing the titular character and Ethan Hawke as the villain. And it's a Marvel show, but you wouldn't know it. Like if you didn't really, because, Marvel shows and stuff like that, they have this habit of being like, look where we're at. Look, it's the Avengers. Look, it's a thing that and look. This doesn't do that. Like, you can walk into this completely fresh, and there are no references to the larger MCU as you know it. They're not sitting there going, Captain America, look at there. And they're not pointing out the obvious. They're just like, this is a thing that's on its own, and it's going to do its own thing, but it's still in the universe. It's just, we don't need to reference all that. Fair enough. Mm-hmm. And I honestly feel like that's something they should do more of. There is something kind of nice when not everything has to have this super connective tissue from the outset. I don't need it. He doesn't need it. You didn't need to bring up any previous, like I didn't need to see Spider-Man on the TV. He's in a completely other country. Right. He's doing his own thing. He does not need a reference to the larger MCU. They're in New York or wherever, and he's. It's fine. It's fine not to reference it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, as long as it's connected, that's all I'm asking. Just later on, you can do that later on. He can show up somewhere, but if it's not necessary, don't do it. That's all I'm saying. I got there eventually. And then I feel like there was something. Oh yes. I'm sure we've shared it and on Twitters and whatnot, but I'm gonna say it here. If you didn't know, I was on Podcasters Disassembled.
Yes.
Which is their kind of slight. I don't want to. Well, I guess it's a spinoff show.
Kind of.
Yeah. So it's the Podcasters Assemble spinoff where they take one singular movie, something that doesn't fit into like with what we're doing with Batman, where you have like this wide
like
swath
there's a
of
franchise and
Batman movies, and we talk about Batman movies. Here, they take a one-off movie, talk about it. So it was Eric and Zach, along with myself, and we talked about Sonic the Hedgehog. Eric and Zach, we've had it on the show before, so if you don't know who they are,
very lovely,
you don't,
lovely humans.
Yeah. And so we sat around and chatted about the original Sonic the Hedgehog, which I actually had watched the day we recorded because I kind of wanted a refresher. Didn't feel like I needed it, but I thought
it's fun. Why not?
Yeah, I thought why not? It's still a good movie. Mm-hmm. It really is.
I want to see the second one.
I've heard I've heard early reviews. I've heard it's better than the first
People
one.
are loving it, so I'm excited. Yeah, and I have a soft spot for Ben Schwartz, though. I've always just kind of loved him in pretty much everything I've seen him in, and he just seems like a fun person to boot, like just to meet in real life. So yeah. Yeah. And then the first one was good, so why wouldn't I go see the second one, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. If, you know what, I'll make kind of like a slight promise. If we can both have a chance to see it next week, maybe, possibly.
Probably.
Maybe.
I mean, I'd probably have to go like on a Saturday or something.
Yeah, it's not like
I'm an old lady. I can't be out late these days.
Right. I get that.
I really can't. Like after work, I'm like, but do I want to go sit somewhere? Like, and we're talking about me sitting, literally driving somewhere else to sit for a couple of hours. But no, seems like a lot.
So if we both happen to talk about or see it next week, we might talk about it next week on the show. Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's not something that we must do because who knows what's going to happen between now and then, and we're old.
That's fair. I'm at that age now where I'm like, well, plans, they're not as exciting as they used to be. Like my eyes kind of light up when people are like, what do you got going on this weekend? I'm like, nothing at all. it's great.
Yeah, it's very true. It was funny that you brought that up because I was even thinking about that the other day because I have somebody, I'm not going to name names, but there's somebody at work that I think thinks that I don't like them or that I am mad at them or I feel like they're taking
your game face on at work.
Huh?
You got your game face on at work.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just, I felt like I've made something abundantly clear. Now, if you walk in and you say good morning or hello, I'll respond in kind. Okay, but, and if you think I'm rude for doing so, my apologies, but this is just how my brain works. I don't want to engage in conversation first thing in the morning. I'm not in for it.
Oh, I actually feel that. I'm not ready yet. Yeah.
My brain is just not ready for it. I just want to kind of get into a zone. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to say good morning to anyone if I'm not facing them. If we're not face to face.
You don't make like a huge circle before you come to your office to say hello to everyone.
I'm not doing that. Okay.
Fair.
There's someone.
I don't know that I would either.
There's someone in the office usually when I get there, but they are in a desk outside of my eyesight and view when I come in. So I'm not going to engage.
So it's not like you're walking past them.
Right. Okay. And if they want to say good morning to me, I'll gladly respond. But I'm not there, and I'm not going to say it when I come in. Because I don't want to engage in that. Why don't I want to engage in that? Because, good morning, how are you? I'm fine. What a day.
See the weather today? The sun's finally out. That's great.
No
it's been
shit.
Raining. Yeah.
I don't like the mundane conversation.
Yeah.
I hate it. And I listen to people do it all the time. Well, it's going, look at it, it's raining, it's cold. No shit. I was just out there. I got it.
As you're like collapsing your umbrella. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Well, Christ, I had no idea. I don't like it. I can't engage in it. I don't want to engage in it. And the fact that people do it all the time, and it's that same routine, the same conversation, you know, even the responses like, how are you? Oh, I'm doing all right. Or even worse, how are you today? Man, let me tell you, my dog went to the vet.
Thought you were serious?
And it's like, oh, shit, no. And then they tell you this, and she's one of those people, mind you, that will tell you one of these stories that I don't care to hear.
Well, then that's when you should know with her, you just go, good morning, and keep walking. Don't ask how you doing, how's your day, none of that stuff.
I have no reason to walk past her in the morning.
Oh, well,
you know?
Yeah.
So I think she thinks that I don't want to talk. Or I'm being rude. I don't know what it is.
Some people can get in their head that way. Just like, well, it has to be because he doesn't like me or I did something.
No. Like, I've spoken to her before. And if she wants to talk to me, fine. But the other thing is, too, I put headphones in and I'm out. You know? And I've tried to keep volume low so I can hear people. Or if someone sneaks up on me, because that happens all the time. I need a damn mirror where I can see them coming.
Right, no blind
But
spot.
if you're screaming at me where I can't hear you, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying that I have my headphones in to the point where I'm drowning out, but if I could, if I can, I like that because I even have, those ones, the active noise canceling.
Ooh.
When I can put that stuff into play, oh man, do I ever? Because sometimes there are conversations I don't want to hear. And I probably should speak up. But when you're outnumbered, it's a little hard to get it in your system.
Right, without just causing unneeded animosity throughout. But
another person. No, listen to this. We haven't even spoken about this, and this happened a week ago. I guess this is our moment to talk about it. So this was something said to me, and I had no words because my brain couldn't comprehend.
Like when they were so confident and they're stupid, it made you question your own intelligence.
Chris Rock and Will Smith.
Oh boy, these two. Yeah.
This was the comment. Did you see what happened? Yeah, I saw what happened.
The whole world did. Jesus Christ.
Now, this is not the same person, mind you, it's someone else. But this other person says, man, I'm so glad that happened between two of those people. And I was like, what?
Oh, I think I would have tried to make it as awkward as possible. What do you mean?
And I just, all I could say was, what? And it's just like, well, because it had just been worse if it had been.
Been what?
Yeah, she couldn't really finish her sentence.
I would have just kept doing that and smiling. But what do you mean? Between who? Well, how would it have been worse? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I would have just kept playing dumb and seeing if she would have continued or just walked away.
I was just again, I guess I should speak up and point out how ridiculous and racist it is. And I hate that I don't, and I'm terrible. I'm sorry. But why?
Well, just do it like that next time. Just because sometimes if you just stare and leave it in silence, some people feel the need to constantly fill that silence and just dig the hole even deeper. And then maybe they'll learn next time that's not an offhanded comment that's just going to work around Steven anymore.
But I don't understand why they think that I thought that would be okay. You should see my desk.
Some people are way too comfortable around others, just assuming everyone has that one thought process.
No, see, my
if
desk.
They have a lot of friends like that, it's probably just too easy to assume everyone in their circle. Well, you know what I mean. It's okay to tell you elbow.
Yeah.
Under. Yeah.
No, I've never spoken like that to anyone in that place. I'm going to admit this live. I don't give a damn if someone actually hears it or not. I'm tired of seeing all these fucking Biden stickers at my job. People keep
Biden stickers.
Yeah, these Biden stickers say, I did that. And they keep slapping them in places.
I don't understand the joke.
No.
Is it bad things?
Yeah,
happening
yeah.
Or good
So what
they
use it for is someone like HR will put up a thing where it says COVID cases on the rise, Lochinvar, and then they'll slap I did that. Gas prices on the rise. I did that. It's like, so no. Every time I see one, I've ripped one down. I don't give a shit who knows. Okay, I'm tired of seeing them, and I'll continue to rip them off. I'll continue to tear them up, and I'll throw them away.
Can't you complain now as the other side?
You think you would, but
it
something
offends me, and I shouldn't have to look at this.
But something tells me that I would be called out. I would have a target put on my back. And again, I'm the only one. I guarantee you, I'm like one person out of that entire group on that side of the building that would, probably out of the entire.
That reads?
Yeah, that reads, has a.
Sorry,
a
I probably
logical
shouldn't have
opinion.
said that, but it sounds like very much gets my news in clips. You know what I mean?
Well, just even I've told you about the logic, the mental gymnastics they go through to connect.
Oh,
things.
it is interesting. It makes my brain hurt because okay.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, I've tried to make it very clear where I stand on things. If you take a look at my desk, this is like, pay attention to everything sitting here because you're going to know exactly who you're dealing with. Okay. Right. So, for example, and this isn't to be like, hey, look at me, I've got black friends or anything like that. Nothing.
Virtue signal for my job here.
But my desk has 4 Funko Pops. Okay. Leatherface, Pedro from Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Oh, okay.
Or Pablo.
Pablo.
Pablo. I said Pedro. God damn it. I feel. I haven't watched the show.
It's been a while.
Sorry. The new Candyman.
Okay.
And Papa Emeritus from Ghost. Now, each shows a minority person.
Right, a swath of people.
That these people being the racist pieces of shit.
So, yes.
That work there, who like to make those people comments. Mm-hmm. That should let them know, hey, I've got, these caricatures sitting on my desk. They represent people that you seem to have a problem with. The janitor on that side of the building is of Hispanic descent, and I notice it. The way people talk about him. Like, there's a guy on that side of the building that stinks. Okay, it smells like flop sweat, and I know who it is.
Yeah.
He's a big 300-pound MFer, and you know what? Maybe he's wearing cologne on top of it. I don't know. Shit stinks. Okay,
yes.
And I'm not fat shaming anybody or anything like that, but
shower shaming.
Yeah, take a bath, motherfucker.
Right? Like, it sounds like it's just a hygiene issue.
But again, someone told me, it's like, well, it might be the cologne he wears. It's like, well, then you need to lay off, dude, because damn, it stinks. But when I brought it up, because I was just asking, this is also the same racist lady from earlier who said those people fighting and slapping.
So she smells too on top of it?
Well, no, she doesn't. She doesn't.
Oh.
I'm saying I asked her point blank, I said, does somebody stink around here? And who does she say? Oh, it's the janitor. I was like, I've never been around the janitor and he stink. I've located it to this other guy because when he's not there, I don't smell it. And then when he's there, I smell it.
Son of a.
So when she's like, it's the janitor, I was like, really? I said, because I think it's him. And I pointed out to the guy and she's like, really? And I was like, yeah, because he hasn't been here for a week and now he's back and I smell the shit again.
And it's been great.
Yeah. And I said, I could breathe. So these ignorant people.
I don't know.
But again, it's not, I wasn't saying the Funko Pops were there for like, hey, look at me. I support minorities. That's not it. It's just to kind of send a message because also the Papa Emeritus, which that's the guy from Ghost, the lead singer or whatever, the visage of this demonic pope.
Okay.
I put that on my desk almost the day after I heard somebody going on and on about my religious freedoms and blah, 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 blah. Which, again, you're entitled to, but the way it came off was just like, because I believe in God and you don't, your opinion doesn't matter. So I said, all right, fuck you. So I'm
tired of that conversation, too.
Yeah. So that was kind of a way to say, hey, pay attention, because...
You should just start telling them you do believe in a God. You pray to Cthulhu every night.
That would be good.
I mean, who's to say yours is wrong or right? Weren't we all just born in the right country with the right God anyway? So, I mean...
Yeah. Well, what's funny about it, too, is this isn't the first time that I've seen something like this happen. Like, I think it was we had gone to a Ghost concert, the one and only we've ever been to, got to meet him, and I bought like their logo, which is kind of an upside down cross, but it's got the like formed into a G, so it's kind of like a letter logo, but kind of resembles something like that. So again, I could see where you'd be like, oh, that's Satanistic or whatever, but it's all kind of a ruse for them or whatever. And I'm not looking at it.
I'm sure it's just the showmanship of their band. You know what I mean?
So I had this thing, I had this pin, and I put it on my vest, and I wore it around. Wore it around work.
On purpose.
Yeah, wore it around work, okay? And come to find out, there were so many people whispering, is he a Satan worshiper? Is he a devil worshiper? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I found this out
Is this
through
like
other
Little
people.
House on the Prairie or some shit? Like,
But yeah, but they never said shit to me. It was just whispering. It's like, I think he's a devil worshiper.
well, it's just the being shocked at it all. It's like, where have you all been?
Yeah.
The last however many years, you know?
I mean, look, we're about to, I mean, we could be so close to fully legalizing weed, and this is what you're going to be panicked about?
And I guarantee you all of them would be like, but I'm cool with that. Trust me, I know some people on all sides that are all fans of pot, so let's go. But you know it's going to die in the Senate, so I don't think
I kind of wish it...
I'm not going to get excited yet, because they'll find a bunch of reasons why not.
Like, look, I know that I'm not going to say that I wouldn't try marijuana.
I don't know, man. You seem to be liking that CBD. I think you might like some THC.
I mean, look, the way I look at it is like this, okay? I'm not going to say no, but it has to be legal.
Sorry, siblings, we're way on this right now, and you're just going to have to be along for it.
Yep, because I don't have any headliner. You should know this by now already.
And you'll hear my vent later. So this is going to be a unique show, sort of.
Yeah. Oh, and I've got to explain why later. I'll explain why later. Anyway, where was that? Oh, yeah. I have not, I don't know if I've admitted that here on the show, but I'm going to admit it now. I've never had marijuana. I've never consumed marijuana, despite what my mother would probably think when I was 18. You know, she liked to accuse me of...
around them hooligans that smoke the devil's lettuce?
She liked to accuse me of things that I didn't do because she thought I was hanging out with the wrong crowd, but she didn't know what I was doing. She didn't pay attention to what I was doing, and you know, I love my mom, but we had some...
But you weren't smoking pot.
We had some disagreements back then.
Yeah.
You know, so, but anyway, it's neither here nor there. And if she actually listened to this, which she claims she does, and I know she doesn't, because if she heard this, she'd be like, and then trying to explain herself away, because I had mentioned her on another podcast once that she does listen to, and she's like, well, I never meant to. And I was like, Mom, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. This is an opinion. It's not a scathing remark. Yeah. I'm just stating in the moment. That's how I felt. It's done and over with. It's fine. Mm-hmm. But no, I would try it if it's legal. But at the same time, would I trade up my fruity bites for some marijuana?
You wouldn't have to.
I wouldn't have
to. You could get more adult version of fruity bites. Is what you could do.
Good. But I like my fruity bites, and you know they get me.
And that's fine.
They get me all loopy. And you know what? I really love to know how this works, because I've also heard that said fruity bites could possibly lead to a, positive drug test. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so if it's legal to sell, and it could lead
some places,
but it is here. It's legal to sell. I got this legally, and I failed a drug test with a substance in which is legal for me to consume, and I bought legally. Explain that to me. And I was not under the influence at work.
It's also weird because, in reality, it's the same thing, I think, as people who casually drink. So if somebody wants to have a beer or two after work, as opposed to maybe a hit or two off of a joint, in my mind, what's the difference? You're both unwinding at the end of the day.
Right.
Now, the problem is because just depends on each individual, but THC can be in your system way longer, of course. So they're trying to lean on we don't know if he was high at work, kind of thing, even though we all know it was probably just, again, casually like a beer after work.
Yeah. I have a rule that I only consume those fruity bites on Friday nights and Saturday nights. That's it. I don't do Sunday or middle of the week because I know how hard it hits me, and I probably could consume a smaller amount, but I'm just like, I want that to be kind of my weekend unwind.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I want to have that moment. That's when I want to relax, laugh, and do all that stuff. So, and that's what I love it for, is the laughter. We had to stop watching The Handmaid's Tale. I had to convince my wife. I said, I don't want to watch this because it's depressing.
I need something fun. Yeah. Let's do something fun. I don't know. We'll see. I think, well, as you know, I think its origins were always hateful anyway. And the fact that it was sitting up there along with heroin. Are you kidding me, government? Like, come on. Like, really? You're trying to say? But I don't know. We'll see. I think they should just let it go. Because, I mean, hello, don't you want the money?
Yeah, no, there's money to be made.
We're dumb enough to keep buying it at the prices you've decided was fair, even though they're not. So we're going to we want to just let us smoke.
And the
just
fact,
let people smoke. In this day and age, just let them do it.
And the
for
fact
Christ's
that
sake.
numerous states have proven its benefits, taxations, the money.
And there would be more benefits, I think, to it if we had been allowed to study it the way that they would have liked to had it not been federally illegal this whole time. You know what I mean? Like, I bet we could have found so many more medicinal benefits for it if they were just allowed to study it.
If they just allow
like
it now.
any other thing. Yeah.
Just write that ship. Go ahead and get it over with. Because do you know how popular Joe Biden would be?
Well, and that would, in my opinion, the reason why they would deny it.
I know, but just think about this. I actually listened
I wouldn't even care. Fine. If it was a conservative put it forward, just put it forward, for crying out loud already. You all are having your little orgy parties after your conventions anyway. So just let us have pot. That's what we're asking for, pot. Yeah. We're not asking for, well, maybe some people are, but like as a whole, it's a very popular thing in the entire country.
Sure.
Where even people who don't want to smoke are like, at least just let them have it for medicinal. Who gives a shit? It's not a big deal. You wanted people to stay at home, give them pot during lockdown. They wouldn't want to go anywhere. They'd be totally cool sitting on their couch, vegging out, and watching Netflix. Like, help us help you.
DoorDash would be making a killing. They'd be
right. Some places do deliver though here in places where it's legal recreation.
Well, who knows? We'll see.
But anyway.
Hey.
Yes, just get on board already. Jesus Christ, this is so stupid.
So, you been playing anything?
Okay. Well, so the day that I would have played most of my video games quickly deviated fast. So my beef for the week, somehow the 1 week my ADD didn't get in the way. I was on top of everything. I was just like sitting pretty, and I go to punch up, just do my little editing on the pod early Saturday morning. I'm like, this is great. And then somewhere along the line, an update for Windows happened and borked in the middle of a boot install. So guess what, people? It garbaged my whole computer. Nothing would run. It was running stupid slow. Siblings, this dark cloud that hangs over my head with tech is on my last effing nerve. Either I am more dumb than I think I am and just pushing buttons, making things bad, or this aura, I just need to go somewhere and have it cleaned. I don't know. I'm to the point now where I might believe that is an actual thing.
Ghost in the machine.
So for 7 hours, yes, the whole day, I spent trying to get my computer back working. So yes, I lost everything I had wrote for the pod. I've lost all of my settings, all of my audio stuff. It was fun. So most of my game playing was on mobile phone while I was waiting for everything to update and download because my computer was anyway. So what did I play, you say?
Yes.
I found an FMV on mobile called Dead Man's Phone. Kind of plays the same like Simulacra and those that I've discussed in the past where, you found someone's phone. But I'm a police constable in London. So a kid was killed and I'm trying to find, what happened. So we virtually can log into his phone because apparently that's what you could do as a police constable. Sure. I don't know. If you're in London, tell me. I don't know. Is that true? And And so, yeah, so you're just going through like the different evidence and text messages and, checking in with your intelligence people and, your other cop of friends that are on the ground and trying to solve this whole thing. And it was free.
Mm-hmm.
It was fairly long, pretty good, no ads.
Okay.
Honestly, for that right there alone, I would tell you to go play it. I don't know how they manage this. I had no ads. And even when it came to points where you were supposed to wait real time, I guess for role-playing purposes, like you sent your intelligence agency to go, search this thing for me, get back. And then a timer would come up for 30 minutes. And you could hit skip if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And it just did it. It didn't ask me for coins. It didn't ask me to watch an ad to be able to do it. It was just real interesting to me. Like all these areas that I would have seen that a free game would try to recoup some cash.
Yeah.
It didn't take it. So I'm very confused, very thankful.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I thought the quality of it was fairly well done. The voice acting was actually really good. You know what I mean? Just things you're thinking about when you're playing a free game where you're not expecting a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dead Man's Phone. I could recommend it. It had 6 chapters. Well, I think one was the alternate ending because at least it was nice when I got to the end, then a new chapter popped up that said alternate. I imagine that would have popped up regardless of which way I would have gone. And then it rewinds you all the way back to where the big decision was that diverted the story.
Okay.
And then it only gave you the other option to move forward. So you weren't just sticking yourself right back into the same situation and then played it from there. So I can recommend it. Dead Man's Phone, totally free. I played it off and on all day yesterday and a little bit through the week. So I got a good amount of time on it.
Ooh.
And it helped me kill the time while I was looking up and seeing everything stuck on installing at 37% because it was basically starting Windows 10 from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah. So every update that's happened since Windows 10 has had updates. I had to sit through yesterday and pray to God it got done in time so I could actually set things up to do this today.
Wonderful.
My whole day of gaming wasted.
Yeah.
On the one time I was so on it too. I was like, so now that just taught me to just not be on it.
Mm-hmm.
Life is just going to screw you over anyway. You try to plan your day anyway. So that was all I really had a chance to play since my one day I would have sat down.
Sure.
I was doing that. So Dead Man's Phone, check it out. Sarah's Missing is up now too. It was free. And that only takes you like 20 minutes. So that was a bummer because I was looking for more time to fill.
Sure.
Because Days Gone, PlayStation Plus game.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hubs was playing that. So I just kind of had to sit back here on my mobile phone. I didn't want to take it from him. I was like, my problems shouldn't be his, So I hadn't heard anything really about that yet.
Okay.
So I should have to go watch because that was the most AAA game ever, right? So I want to.
Sure. Yeah.
I need to see it. I remember the Hubbaloo and all that. But what have you been playing? Did you get a chance?
No, I didn't get to play a damn thing.
This week for
yeah,
both of us. I swear.
It was terrible. Like I had wanted to play games or to continue on with Aloy and her adventures because
right.
I feel like I'm so close to an ending, even though I don't feel like I'm finished with it or even close to finished, but I feel like I'm getting there.
Sure.
I just feel like if I had just a little bit more time, I could just play the hell out of this game and get a lot done. And I didn't get a chance. I'm hoping maybe today I can play a little. Maybe
after we're done here.
Yeah, maybe. But I've still got a few little things to clean up on. Mainly because, and I'm not going to, I'm for reasons that I'm very superstitious about. I'm not going to say exactly what it is. Next week, if everything goes according to plan, I will talk about it in greater detail here on the show. But my time this week was dedicated to a project in which I was asked to perform freelance, very professional. And I'm hoping that as of today, when you're listening to this or whenever, that the project is out in the world, and I will be sharing it on my socials, tagging and whatnot. So
as will I.
Yeah, keep your eyes open, because if you see a video from me promoting it, it's something I did for someone else, and I'm proud of everything that's gone into it. I'm thankful for the opportunity that I got to do it, and hopefully it'll be the first of many going forward.
Yes.
But as of right now, I just want to say I'll talk about it in greater detail later on. But that's where a lot of my time went, especially yesterday. I debated on finishing it or playing games. And then my wife was in the middle of watching The Handmaid's Tale, and I thought, I want to watch that, but maybe I can kind of do both. And there was no doing both. My attention went straight to doing this project, and I'm now behind. I have no idea what's going on in The Handmaid's Tale. So,
aw, well, I have faith. You can get caught up.
Yeah,
I've never watched it, or I'd help you, but.
Well, it was just always one of those things that people were just like, oh, yeah, you should check this out. And don't get me wrong, it's a great show. Like, it's harrowing to think about that, this could happen.
I mean, I've heard enough about it, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want anything like that to happen. I hate that we have to think that, yeah, this could happen, but it could happen. But in any case, there's not a whole lot to it that gives you any kind of happiness.
Yeah.
And when I was done editing, I was like, can we watch something else? Because A, I'm already, behind, and B, it's just depressing. So
right? I need happy stuff on the TV for a minute. I know that.
It just, not everything is going to be, roses or anything like that. I mean, I put on just something that it gave me a chuckle. It was fine. I will. Okay, so I do want to talk about this, and we'll get on track. I promise. But I have to. Have you ever seen a movie called "See No Evil, Hear No Evil"?
I don't think I've seen it.
Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. This is one of their few movies together that they did.
Ew, and I'm sad at myself.
Okay,
King's right there, but yeah.
I've always heard that this is one of those movies that I guess is critically disliked or whatever. But me personally, I love it just for the two of them alone, like their performances and everything. It just makes the movie, regardless of what the plot is, they are funny. Gene Wilder in that movie has this scene, okay? And I won't spoil how it all happened, but what happened is one is blind, one is deaf. Richard Pryor's blind, Gene Wilder's deaf. They had an incident where they drove a car into a garbage barge. So now this car is sitting in the barge. Now, Richard Pryor was driving, blind, mind you. Okay, so that's how they wound up there.
That's already, yeah.
Okay. So they're sitting there having this very calm conversation. Now, Gene Wilder knows exactly where they're at. Richard Pryor does not. So they're just talking about, everything that's just happened and everything's going on. And this entire time, you can notice, and I'd never noticed it before until this last time I watched it. Gene Wilder, his voice, it's slowly getting angrier and angrier about the situation until he finally reaches that point to bring it up and then just lets out his frustration about where they are, because he's just like, it's fine. I'm just going to sit here for a moment. But until then, I can't get over the stink of the trash that you drove us into. And it's just this gradual build. And it was just so funny when I saw it, because I could hear it coming. Yeah. Because I knew it was coming, and I could just hear it now. I could just see it. He's like, I'm getting there. And and Richard Pryor's just like, oh, really? That's what that is? I thought you let one go. That's why I didn't say nothing.
Trying to be nice.
So, anyway, that was an odd tangent. Hey, what do you have to talk about with news? We're way off topic.
We had a lot this week, and it was kind of nonsense. Okay. How much was going on this week? We have a lot of Activision Blizzard updates here going on.
Big surprise.
Well, actually as quick as some of it was. Anywho, we'll just start with the EEOC lawsuit. The the judge decided to just go ahead and sign the settlement for $18 million. I agree, for a company that makes tens of billions. The settlement included an $18 million fund for eligible claimants who worked at the company starting in September of 2016. So from September 1st, 2016 on, you can join in on this lawsuit and get paid out. However that all works and how long that takes and all the stuff you probably have to provide and go through to even get yourself involved in it. And of course, spokesperson for Blizzard, or Activision Blizzard, I should say. Our goal is to make Activision Blizzard a model for the industry, and we will continue to focus on eliminating harassment and discrimination from our workplace, said Bobby Kotick, of course.
Kiss
you know,
my
the
ass.
best person to speak to this whole thing. So the court's approval of this settlement is an important step in ensuring that our employees have mechanisms for recourse if they experienced any form of harassment or retaliation. So they're happy as pie, I'm sure, about this. It's pretty much
sure.
just a slap on the wrist. I mean, Riot Games even paid what, $100 million?
Yeah, it was up there.
Just saying. And anyway, the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, of course, still has their suit going. I don't
It's
know
ridiculous.
if I should have much more hope for that one. But the kicker too is that if you decide to join in on the EEOCs, you are not able to go in on the DFEHs. So I feel that, and this was me not knowing law or having a law degree or anything like that. If one drags out, it seems like as a human, which one's going to be a more beneficial one for me to jump in on? And especially with as many people that might have probably was it affected since 2016 to now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I knew better, but I was hoping for a bigger outcome than that for them. So I guess now we're just off to the DFEH. They did kind of try to go, hey, excuse me, that could very much put a hamper on ours. And the judge made it, the way the article read, the judge was like, take it up with the Ninth Circuit. We've basically been dicking around with this long enough,
Wow.
you know, is the way I took it to read. Now I could just be having my biased lens because I really wanted Activision Blizzard employees to have better compensation than that.
Yeah.
But they also have the one with the Securities and Exchange Commission that's still going, that's handling its the sexual harassment and discrimination allegations. So there's still some, of course, lawsuits in the fire. I don't know. It's just disheartening because they make like tens of billions. They laid people off for no reason. You know what I mean? It's just all of this stuff. And you tell me they 18 mil? It just really doesn't seem like.
Especially when you split it, lawyer fees, and then however much the employees are going to get. They're not getting anything out of this. 18
Not
million
nearly
sounds
enough.
big, but not divided between how many hundreds of people?
Oh my gosh. Well, 1 year alone in their record profit year, you laid off 852. That was just 1 year. In a record profit year, mind you.
Yeah.
1 year. So you go from 2016 on, every time you tried to line his pockets, you got a lot of people, I'm sure, there. Because I mean, it's been going on 10 years, for crying out loud.
I mean, look,
in their doors.
If you're part of that company or have been part of that company and you can at least get something out of it, I guess, take it. But it's still just unjust. I mean, to say the very least.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, so that concludes that one. We'll see what happens with the other two at a future time. But continuing on, we had 4 senators on the U.S. side here write a letter to the FTC to have a deeper look into this merger with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. Senators include Senator Warren, Senator Whitehouse, Senator Booker, and Senator Sanders. She had tweeted this out with a Wall Street Journal article, which was paywalled, siblings. So I'm sorry. I tried to look it up in other areas, you know. Sometimes I can find a YouTuber I can pause, and thank you for your services, YouTubers who do that. But her tweet Activision Blizzard has a history of unchecked workplace sexual misconduct and discrimination. True. She goes on to say, if the merger with Microsoft happens, conditions for workers could get worse. Sanders, Whitehouse, Booker, and I want the FTC to closely scrutinize the merger. So worse, though. That was the part that kind of threw me off. Worse? Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, again, I don't work for Microsoft. I don't work for Activision Blizzard. Worse just seems hard for me to wrap my brain around.
Yeah.
Could it? I'm sure, absolutely. But I don't know. So I went on to find one that had a little bit of excerpts from the letter that they had wrote, for what they were wanting to come here. So they said that they're deeply concerned about accountability for the merger, which I kind of understand that. Once they merge, is everyone just now scot-free, getting away, whatever. So the lawmakers expressed in a letter to the FTC that the deal might exacerbate the flurry of sexual abuse, harassment, and retaliation allegations at Activision stemming from recent federal and state investigations. Yeah, I don't know. A California district court approved the $18 million, like we just said. Mm-hmm. So they are wanting to look into that too. Like, is that a just price? So I agree with that. With that. And then the other part of the letter I do actually agree with. Specifically, it mentions Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick, who would be allowed to keep his position consistent with the terms of Microsoft's payout. In other words, why is he getting all the golden parachutes? Why is he able to even stay on right now? And that right there, please look into. That, yes. Please. Why is exactly right. We said that when we first heard it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't know what kind of contracts and things that he's made to make it this hard to get rid of him. I'm sure it's written into every little layer. But so legally, it would be hard. But 10 years of this shit can't usurp. Again, I know it's my biased lens. I think he's garbage. But it did go on to say the lack of accountability, despite shareholders, employees, and the public calling for Kotick to be held responsible for the culture he created, would be an unacceptable result of the proposed Microsoft acquisition. So, basically, I'm with you on the latter half. Please look into why the hell he's allowed to benefit from this so well. Please look into how the hell he's able to just kind of like keep his position, keep making his little pay cut he took this year. But
I can't.
He still made more than I did in a year, So that I hope they actually do follow through on, because he's way too scot-free.
Yeah,
we've already seen in the last settlement they're getting off way too easy already. So. Yes, if anything comes of it, I just have a little bit of a hard time believing worse.
Sure, yeah. No. It's
I feel like she's trying to create a buzz clicky thing to get outrage by saying worse. So I did go to the Activision Blizzard, the ABK Twitter, to see if they had retweeted it, maybe agreed with any of it. Let's listen to the people working there, right? Yeah. That's in the middle of this. And it didn't seem like worse was the sentiment that most of them were saying. Granted, I have a very small group of people that are willing to post on Twitter, right? That I'm using as my group, but it doesn't seem like people are thinking it's going to be worse. But we'll see.
Yeah.
The rest of it, though, please God, investigate why all of that's been allowed to go on for this long. But that's that with that, and we'll see what happens if that it gets pushed through a little bit more. And then lastly, with Activision Blizzard, they announced a return to work policy. People are feeling good. Pandemic's supposedly over, right? So let's just do everything the way it was before. Anywho, but their return to work policy had one little thing in it that a large group of employees did not enjoy, was the fact that they were getting rid of their vaccine mandate. So you can come back to work, and now we no longer care if you're vaccinated or not. It's cool. Just come on in, right? Well, This did not go over well with a large group of the employees working there, not really pushing back on having to return to work, but lifting the vaccine mandate. You know, it does always seem like the rules cater to one side and not the other. And if the other side gets mad, then they're being the snowflakes or whatever you want to call them in this situation, where it's just like, I think if you're going to cater to one, you'd have to try to make sure both sides are comfortable. I mean, you can't just force one side into an uncomfortable conversation or position.
And maybe I'm wrong here, but does it not seem like the entire country seems to cater to those who do not want the vaccine?
This country has 100% catered to the minority for a very long time, but we don't need to go on with that. But we've pretty much all of our stuff is catered to a minority of people that are just loud and complaining about stuff. I could go on, but it's not gaming related. But yes, I agree with you. As of, I guess, today, April 4th, they organized a walkout, whatever that looks like, work from home. I imagine just means I am not working today. I'm doing a walkout to say, screw you. We have 3 demands: an immediate reversal to lifting the vaccine requirement. 2, remote work should be offered as a permanent solution. And again, if you're saying no vaccine mandate, it is just as fair for those who are not comfortable coming in should be allowed to have their needs catered to as well. And then the decision to work remote or in office should be made by each individual employee. Again, fine. But later that same day, they appeared to have already walked it back a bit by saying that they were going to allow each studio to determine its vaccine requirement. And to my understanding, this only affects the studios in the United States, from what I can see. So the other countries, I'm sure, have their own laws that they have to deal with. So for this in particular, I believe was only the studios on stateside. So I don't know. It's kind of illustrated why it's so crucial for workers to have a choice and work from home permanently. Because if decisions about our own health can just be so casually decided from other people at a moment's notice, which I guess is still also the argument for those who don't want to get it. Why are you making decisions about my own health? But fine. If you're going to force one side, you have to let both sides do what's comfortable then in this situation. Or you're just going to be constantly going back and forth with this vitriol forever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even where I work, they were starting to pretend like they were super excited about SCOTUS overturning the mandates and all this kind of stuff, and then wanting people to come back to work. And the way they made it sound so exciting, even in my head, I went, look, I'm vaccinated. I've read enough about it that whether you're vaccinated or not, at this point, like, I've done all I can. So really that kind of kernel of the argument doesn't really hold any water for me anymore. But if you're so happy to shove everyone back together because of the law, then you need to listen to those who are uncomfortable with being forced to be around people maskless and vaccineless and let them do their thing too. That keeps them, if you're very comfortable keeping one side comfortable, the other side's a little bigger.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be my own thing about it. Not trying to get, it's not supposed to be a political thing. I know it's been a political thing. It's a health thing, but
It's a health thing.
But I don't know. I disagree with making both sides do it. If you're going to cater to one side to be comfortable for their health, you got to cater to the other one too. Let them go into the office and do whatever they want. And then if you're not comfortable, you should stay home. I think people are just starting to get upset that they realize the higher ups really aren't needed in this cog. So they need you to come back to the office because they're like, well, you all are way more productive now. So what do I do here again? Exactly. We've been asking ourselves that a while. That went on a rant more than I thought I would.
No, I get it.
But I think that wraps up my Activision Blizzard news because, dear God, they had a week. So
Clearly.
I guess we'll see later on today. Okay, you all know we filmed this a little in the future. So the walkout was planned for April 4th. So I guess we'll have to look this morning to see if the demands were just met and they just stayed on, because it seemed like they were walking back some of it. Who knows, by the end of today, they're probably so tired of getting yelled at on Twitter, they'll be like, fine, it's mandatory or something again. I don't know. Anywho, moving on. Let's talk about something new.
Okay.
Then Activision Blizzard. We talk about them a lot. For me, it was kind of a exciting thing, and my PC gamers out there. So NVIDIA finally launched the GeForce RTX 3090 Ti, their Titan, their flagship graphics card. Of course, they revealed this back in January when they were talking about the RTX 3050s. But I don't know, man. These prices are getting a little crazy. $2,000.
Jesus,
so $1,999 for the founders edition model. So you're looking at 15 to 19 or 2,000, may as well say. So it's like a 33% increase over the regular 3090. So the RTX 3090. So the TI is 33% more. And honestly, I'm looking at the specs.
Okay.
It is better.
Sure.
But
Better be.
not so much for that kind of a price increase that I could tell. Because, all right, let me come here. So the cores. So the TI has fully enabled GA102 GPU with a 10,752 CUDA cores. And then so the regular 90 though, 10,496.
Okay.
So 10,752 to 10,496. So the cores itself has gone from 82 to 84 for the tensor cores. Or the tensor cores went from 328 to 336. So it's like I'm looking at these. It's better. But like $500 more better? I don't know. But I mean, again, if you're the type who probably really needs to overclock these beasts and really overutilize these, like maybe you're editing, you're rendering tons of videos, you're playing insane VR games, then that little increase you'll probably maybe notice, but I cannot justify it. I feel like they're pricing themselves out of the market here. But the other thing we're going to have to start paying attention to here, PC gamers, are these power draws these GPUs are starting to take. Because you're no longer going to have to just consider how much the card is. You've also got to consider how much more in your energy bill you're going to be paying a month. Because this one is saying 450 watt power draw for the 3090 Ti.
Jesus Christ.
That's just for the card. Now, granted, this is with the card being utilized at full. Because I have a 6900 XT, which is basically AMD's 3090. And the guy was trying to tell me, this has a 600 watt draw. And I'm like, that just seems really weird for a 600 watt draw. He was wrong. It's 350. But still, I had to think about that because most people have 500, 600 watt power supply at all. You still need some power for your other things in there. Like your fans and your motherboard. And So keep that in mind now these days, gamers who are building their own PC, because these things are getting really amazing and faster and bigger and better and stronger. But you're going to have to take that into consideration, I think, too, unless you just poop money, in which case do whatever you need to do, I guess, and waste whatever energy you need to waste, because people are going to anyway. So there you go. They're very expensive. Do what you want. If you really want to go for the TI, if you really think it's really going to give you that much more of a boost over the 3090, it kind of seems like they're gearing towards creators with these cards a little bit more, but it still seems like it's not that much more over the 3070 to justify the price. Maybe it's just me, siblings. You let me know. Am I being silly? But I'm coupling this with the leak of the 4090, which I think we talked about this one. Maybe. I don't remember now if it was, I wrote it down, and then because of the crash yesterday, I might have this deja vu that we talked about. Regardless.
Anyway.
The purported approximation of the 4080 and the 4090 Founders Edition will possibly come with a 600 watt power draw. Okay. So include your power bill, people, when you're thinking about buying these new cards. Think about how much more that might affect that. But we also could see some relief, hopefully, in the price of cards soon, because Asus or Asus, however people want to say it, I'm not sure I ever knew. ASUS, I think it's Asus, but Asus. But they're reducing their MSRP aggressively for their GPUs across all SKUs. So it looks like they're going to try to jump first as GPU pricing inevitably drops. We have been seeing an increase in supply, finally. Not amazing, but the demand is still very high. So manufacturers are going to have to start putting in the work if they want users to buy their cards. And it looks like the hope with them to lead the way is that as you're getting more supply, you can't have your old stuff just sitting around because that stuff doesn't hold its value like other things. You're going to want to sell them, get them out of your warehouse, right? So as inventory's rising, we might see the prices starting to drop. So ASUS is promising across all SKUs, the price will drop, which hopefully in turn means other companies will have to compete. And then good luck if you can find it at MSRP anywhere instead of scalped online. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while. I just imagine that's still a big problem.
Probably, yeah, for sure.
Bitcoin mining still. I don't know.
Why would you think that that would have gone away at any point in time?
Well, I mean, if the demand is lower, I don't know, or people just realize I'm not paying you $10,000 for this card. I don't know. Because the prices got dumb. It just got so dumb. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll see some drops in prices and then you guys can stop paying that amount for your cards. Life is hard right now being a gamer. The last little bit of news, just briefly, because I feel like we've kind of talked about this ad nauseum, but the PS Plus official new pricing and all of the goodies that came with it was actually announced this week. I know we've been talking about the leaks, the rumors, it's coming soon. Well, now it's official. So really, it doesn't seem like if you have the PS Plus now, doesn't really seem like it's going to change. If you want to stay at that tier, it looks like you're going to kind of get the same things, right? So
sure.
The 3 tiers, you got PS Plus brand, this is all going to start in June. It's all going to start in June. So you got PS Plus Essentials, same as the PS Plus service you know now and love, or maybe you don't, I don't know, which includes 2 monthly downloadable games, multiplayer access, game discounts, cloud storage, blah, blah, blah. It looks like it's the same price, $60 for the year. And then if you want to break it down per month or whatever, $10 or $25 for 3, so on and so forth. PS Plus Extra includes everything I just said, but also adds 400 PS4 and PS5 games that can be downloaded. So you get like Spider-Man Miles Morales, God of War, Returnal, Mortal Kombat 11, Death Stranding, which is some of the ones that they mentioned for the games that you could get. And then more from third-party developers, you know. So that will put the price up to $15 for a month, $40 for 3, or $100 for the year. Okay, you know.
Okay.
But then the last one, PS Plus Premium, everything I just said for the other 2, plus adds classic games from PS1 to PSP, which supposedly can be downloaded or streamed off their service. Time-limited game trials, PS3 and PS4 game streaming, and this one will be $18 a month, $50 for 3, or $120 for the year. It still feels like they don't know how to emulate their own games.
No.
I don't know.
All right.
What do you think? Does that seem fair? Does it
well,
sound
I mean,
fair, or?
Looking at it from a certain perspective, I'm not sure if the full premium elite or whatever, I think it was called the last tier, the higher price
plus premium, yeah.
Plus premium. I don't feel that is a necessity for me, simply because while there may be older games that I might want to play again, I don't know if I have the time to play them again.
That is a big point, yeah.
Now, that said, the middle tier sounds a little enticing because you're saying we're going to give you, what was it, like 450 PS4 PlayStation 5 games? 400,
yeah. So with more being added, of course, periodically.
So you're saying that you're going to add newer games, Death Stranding being one of those that I've kind of wanted to play but just never got around to.
Sure.
So if you're offering me games outside of the other games that I can play, I might actually take you up on that, because there may be a handful in there that I've thought about and I've looked at and been like, yeah, I kind of want to play that, but I don't want to spend the money on it. And if you're just going to give it to me, I mean because I'm paying for it.
That's how I justified Game Pass too, because with the price of games these days being what, $75 new,
yeah,
or $100 for the year, if you played 2 of those games, it kind of paid for itself.
So I might consider the middle tier. I cannot for the life of me. Like, I would really have to look into the third tier and see if there's anything that it would just be like justify. I must pay that to get that game, to have access to that game or something like that. Because I just can't think of any that come to mind that I would just...
From like the 1 or 2 era that you just got to get your hands on.
I must play again because there's just nothing. But PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 games, newer, or at least been released within... I mean, hell, there's
Last
probably
year
a
or
few
two.
PlayStation 5 games that I've wanted to play that I just haven't. And, if you're going to do that for me, fuck yeah, I'll pay it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
You're helping me out. So
Yeah.
it's worth looking into, and I'm curious how the pricing will work, seeing how it launches in June.
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Well,
Set
my
to go live in
membership
June.
renews at the end of May. Like
Oh,
right
so you'll
there.
be right in there.
So I'm
Yeah,
curious.
we got the email about ours that it's just going to go over to, PS Plus Essentials.
Yeah.
So unless we decide to upgrade, that's what we'll be getting. But again, after I read through it, it seemed like it was the same thing. We're just now calling it Essentials instead of just Plus.
So I'm curious if I change over or if I upgrade to the other tier, if it would prorate everything that I had and then just charge me the extra amount.
I would love to think Sony would go through, but I really doubt it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I've already
they'll
paid.
probably be happy to extend you on at that one. They'll be like, well, you can just stay at this one till May, and then you'll just have to buy the new one.
Well, I meant like if I'm already paying for it in May for the Essentials because the new program isn't out, then when I upgrade it in June, you prorate the $60 that I've already paid, and then I only have to pay an extra $40 for...
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You're probably best to get on it in May and just upgrade or something.
I mean,
so
I'll
they
look
don't-
into it, but
Yeah,
I
if
just-
you're wanting to, of course.
yeah.
But-
Now, I think that might actually be worth looking into, just to explore it, because I really can't think of any PlayStation 1 to 3 or PSP games that I just must play again.
Yeah, like I know people who are excited to play Metal Gear that just doesn't feel like dragging out like their PS3 and stuff again. But I know that's not us. But, I've heard some people, few, that seem to be maybe leaning towards the premium. But they probably console gamed way more than I did in that era of time, which is probably why it's not hitting the nostalgia bump for me. Because I did have a PlayStation 2 and I did play it, but I still always went to my PC.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a whole lot I can think of that was exclusive to that experience that I'm craving.
Well, see, there's not even a game that I can think of that I missed that hasn't already been remade
the original
or
God of
remastered.
War, the first trilogy?
No,
Did
I
you ever
played
get
those.
to play those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if that was actually some of the first PlayStation games or PlayStation 2 games that I played. Now, there were a few that I had played, but I think I had borrowed my brother's PlayStation 2.
Okay.
And I think this was long before, no, I know what it was. Katrina had one. That's what it was. My brother had a PlayStation 2 as well. That's where I played some games early on, like Shadow of the Colossus and stuff like that. But
Sure.
it was her PlayStation. Then I borrowed God of War, I think, from Todd, and then played the series from there. And I think I even had to get some on GameFly. Does everyone remember GameFly?
Ooh, I did have that for a little bit.
I did too.
I did, yeah.
So
I didn't utilize it as much as I should have, so I think I wasted a lot of money. But yeah, I remember that.
But again, there have been so many games that have been remastered or redone or whatever. So it's just like, did I miss anything? Because if it was really good, they've probably already re-released it in some new format or
discussing
polished.
Right. Yeah.
So,
slapping on a new coat of paint, really.
Yeah. So have I missed any games from those eras that I have to play? I don't. I need a list. PlayStation's going to have to provide me a list so I can make that decision. Because if you're
I'm
just
sure
like,
there is. I didn't look into it much more because, like I said, I was like, well, here's the prices. You decide. But
Dava, supply a list.
yeah, there you go. Dava, what's
Please.
our list? What's our game?
Or at
list?
least a link to a list so I can look at said list. If you could,
Yeah,
if you could provide that, I would be most grateful, sir.
There we go. Let's see here. So so that's that. I did mention here just in case, because I know sometimes we might have people that just aren't in the States, right? So PlayStation streaming doesn't currently exist in some countries, like they said here, Latin America, South Korea, and Singapore. So the third tier is called PS Plus Deluxe for them, and it'll include the above, but without the streaming elements to it. So, some of it kind of like how with Stadia. But it does plan to expand, or Sony does, to the cloud streaming to additional markets at some point. So if you're in those areas, it looks like you'll get everything but getting to play from the cloud. But it sounds like they're going to try to get you in on that. Hopefully they don't change your prices for it too, because it's, it's the same damn thing, whatever the equivalent it is in your country, of course. But I only have 2 quick hits because I forgot all the quick hits I wrote down, guys, due to the story I told you above. So I remembered 2, and we're going to get through it, okay? We're going to get through it. But this one's super quick. E3 canceled this year. We're done in person and digitally. Announcing at this time it plans to return in all forms in 2023. So it's not saying it's completely down and out. They just decided this year to just not. We've been talking about this for many years now, how other companies seem to be phasing into their own thing. You've had Jeff Keighley with the Summerfest now over the last several years. 5 now? 4, 5, 6? Jeez. A while. Something. I want to say at least 4 or 5. But time has no meaning to me anymore. So we'll see if they return in 2023. I mean, that's all there is to say about that. So just Summerfest this year. No E3.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I mean, I always hate to see gaming conventions go down. I know it wasn't just gaming. Well, I'll be fair. I know that's what we basically watched. It had a lot, basically electronics, right? It's the Electronics Expo. But we kind of been seeing it go that way for a little bit. And then I'm sure the pandemic didn't help matters, where you couldn't really do in-person stuff. And then other companies decided to do more virtual. And then here we are. So we'll see. They want to revamp things. That's the discussion that we're seeing right now. So we'll see what happens in 2023. And then this one, I think I have more just 3 weird stuff that made me kind of laugh, smile, or shake my head that I just wanted to share. So in no particular order. So some of you I know are Twitch streamers or imbibers of Twitch in some way, or have at least heard of it and familiar with what it is. So there was this feature on Twitch that allowed streamers to pay their way to boost to the front page, right? I think we talked about this a while ago, where viewers could pay to boost your channel, and then you could get it shown up on the front page by more you boost. And then it kind of deviated in October to boost the stream, which is like, it looks like a little choo-choo, I guess, that they do. So if enough people do subs and bits and all this kind of stuff, it starts this boost train or hype train or whatever they call it. Well, Twitch has had to temporarily remove this feature for boosting streams because porn. It's always porn.
Always porn.
Always porn. So apparently enough people were using their money to boost channels that were, of course, playing porn and get them slapped right on your front page for you, as humans do. I'll never understand why it's always porn with you people.
Because porn, it's something.
You can see it literally everywhere. Why? I don't.
Because there's not enough porn on the internet.
So we got to put it on Twitch too. I don't know. So there's no word when it'll come back, if it'll come back. So for right now, I guess it's just not going to push you to the front page, because I know the boost trades are still going. There's one streamer I'll still kind of like listen like a podcast in the background, and I hear the hype train going. So I know it's still there, but you people in porn, I swear to God. Anyway, it's always porn.
Yeah.
So, but this other little weird thing. So I love modders. I've talked about them here. They bring joy to a lot of games, and sometimes it doesn't even need to be there. It's just because it's fun and because we can, right? Okay. So there was a modder who made a mod for Final Fantasy VII's remake, where Cloud now can wear a crop top leather jacket. Like, you could download it if you just want him running around the world in a crop top leather jacket, right? Okay. And it looked good. It looked good. a lot of the responses on the website that was hosting the mod were very pleasant, but also met with a bunch of, I love this, but any way we can get a version without his belly exposed. Otherwise, it looks great. Like, he's got some chiseled abs. He's very slim. You know, maybe it was making them insecure. I don't know. But along those lines. But the response from the modder is what I just absolutely love. Because he did, or they, I don't know, he, she, they, did meet the demand in a way, right? So do you remember when it was popular to get those lower stomach tattoos that would just kind of creep over maybe like a low-rise pant or something? And you're like, I wonder where all the tattoo is. So that was his solution. He put a lower tummy tattoo on Cloud. And then just put there, stomach is covered now with a smiley face. So screw with your modders, will you? I just thought it was great because now it looks dumb, I think, with the tattoo on it. But he's like, there, if y'all are so upset about the stomach, he put just some sort of like tribal heart tattoo along the bottom of his tummy, right below the belly button. And there you go. Okay. There you go. I just thought it was a fun story. And then my last one is about an accused cheater who was caught cheating while trying to prove he didn't cheat.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So a player, it goes by Kenji in the streaming world, plays a lot of Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer. So the player decided, like, they was accused of cheating. You're too good. I think you're using wall hacks, all this kind of stuff. When he was in a 2v2 tournament, he goes, fine, I'll prove to you I'm not cheating. And puts a camera up to show onto his monitor and over his shoulder and watch him play, and you could see the monitor. But attempting to clear his name didn't work if you forget to turn off your cheats in your video. So as he was trying to prove he's not a cheater and showing off legitimate gameplay, we saw the wall boxes on every wall. So basically it's a box that'll show up on a wall to let you know there's a player hiding behind that wall, giving you the advantage to know to go over there because there's someone hiding there. So in other words, he tried to prove he wasn't cheating, but forgot to turn off his cheats and was caught trying to prove he wasn't cheating by cheating. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Because I guess you're just not very smart at all. So, yeah. And you know what's even better? Still lost the game.
Good. It's about time.
The Twitch has now been deleted. So methinks they're in hiding for a moment, you know. And it looked like they were part of some esports group tournament thing, too, that they were going to do that they're no longer invited to do. But I just thought that was hilarious. I'm going to prove I'm not a cheater, but I forget to turn off my cheating stuff before I... The one thing you would think to remember to do.
Yeah. The one thing.
You set it up to prove you're not a cheater. Yeah. Guess it was just a hat rack for this person. I don't know, because, like, give me a break, man. But I think we wasted a lot of time. I think we figured it out. I have nothing else. That was all I can remember that I wrote, and in my frustration, I was like, I'm not sitting here till midnight again. I'm sorry. I love you all. Fine. But, yeah.
And to all of you siblings, I know you look forward to my headliners every week, but I was...
Because they're awesome!
Too damn busy this week, and honestly, kind of wanting to go play those games, you know. But I still got some things to finish up before I go do that. So I'm trying. I wanna kind of wrap this thing up. I know it's a little short, but
we keep giving him so much to do. I
want to unwind today. I want to finish my work, and I want to go play video games. I feel like I've earned it.
Yes, you have. You've worked hard this week.
So,
and I worked really hard for one day.
Another thing, too, before I go, and I'm not going to say too much about this either, because tomorrow we'll have a little announcement, hopefully. But I have another announcement for another day, so stay tuned. There may be some more announcements regarding a new show or two.
Ooh.
That depends.
Maybe I don't even know.
Well, one of them kind of, you know, we've had a discussion.
Oh, sure.
But
sure.
I don't know if I want to go into details about that just yet, because we
should probably chat more.
Yeah, we're not sure what that is, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
you love us. Just stay with us. Bear with us.
Yeah, I think once we have a better understanding of where we're
life is,
words, where we are at, and what we want to do, then we can relate that to all of you, and in a better way. So we're still having conversations. We've got some irons in the fire beyond the few things we've said. Plus, I've got an extra iron in the fire that you don't know about, but
yet
I'm looking forward to sharing
that. Yeah.
When the time is right, because I'm always doing something. Damn it, I can't
You
just
are a
not
busy
do
little
anything.
I gave up on most of my dreams. It's fine.
Well, I complain
Some
about
people
it.
just don't get to do everything they want to do in life, and I accepted it.
It's fine. It's fine. But hey, take us out. Why don't you?
All right. I'm going to totally wing this because I totally forgot to write the end of it. So let's see how well Lacey remembers how she ends the show.
Okay.
There you go. So that's our show. Don't forget, you can join us on Twitter at Super Mega Crash. You can also go to the Instagram to view the weekly icon art that Steven puts his time and love into. You can also support the show by going to patreon.com/pencil and paper productions. Or you can support the show by liking and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform.
Woo.
I think I'm doing pretty good so far.
I think you're doing great.
You can also go to youtube.com/pencil and paper productions. Thank you so much for listening. I am Lacey Finley.
And I am Stephen White.
And you can join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.